Hello, my gorgeous, amazing humans. Hello, all of you. This is a really exciting masterclass. I was self-pleasuring. If you want to know how I do masterclasses, I self-pleasure for like 3 hours beforehand. And then I nap, and then I wake up, and then I do it again. And I drink some cacao, and then I do it again. And today, what kept coming through for me was this, what I'm going to share about today in today's masterclass and what we're going to go through is something that I have been tracking on my own in my mind for 20 years. And I literally was shown the memories of like the first moment that I started understanding these pieces of erotic mastery that you're going to learn today. And I'm really excited. It feels like every moment of my life, every moment of those curiosities that I had, every moment where I had to learn deeper, it's all coming to a head right now so that you can have this masterclass. I feel like this is the masterclass that's going to be kind of like a book for us. We're going to take it and we're going to want to really understand it. We're going to go deep into it. It might even become a book. That might happen because I can already feel what it's going to be. And I'm really, really, really. All right. I'm just feeling excitement is a big feeling. Have you ever felt it in your body fully? It's like, it's like in your body, like not when you go out of your body excited, but like it's a big feeling. It's a really big feeling. Let's drop into our bodies to feel a little deeper and to prep us to go on a journey together over the next 2 hours. So go ahead and close your eyes if you are here with me. And as you close your eyes, see if you can begin to simply settle. Settle the mind, settle the body, settle the energy. Allow everything to drop deeper down into your feet. And then just feel yourself arriving here. Feel yourself arriving here in this moment. What does your body need in order to really arrive? Does it need to move or shake something off from before this masterclass? Does it need to jump around? Does it need to stretch? Does it need to breathe really big? Does it need to hold itself? See if you can really tune into what would bring you here fully. For me, I love to touch the bones of my body, like my bony ribs and the bony pelvis. For you, it might be something entirely different. Just notice what does your arrival look like? And can you arrive with grace? Can you arrive with ease? You don't have to do anything to yourself, but instead, can you invite your body to be here? Can you invite your energy to really land? Yes, beautiful. Land even deeper and just feel that by giving yourself this permission to land, notice what your body is doing now. Maybe there's a relaxation of tension in certain places. Maybe the energy has settled or changed. Maybe you feel the tiredness that you've been ignoring, or the excitement that you haven't let yourself feel. Just notice what's here when you really tune in. And as you notice that, see if you can let yourself feel even more what you're feeling in this moment. So start to bring it up into the body, that feeling, the emotion, the energy of this present moment. See if you can give it a body. You can even change your body to reflect what you're feeling right now. And as you breathe deeper, that allows the body to really drop into what's happening right now. Good. Notice if there's one part of your body that's resisting. It's resisting being present. It's resisting feeling fully. And just give it your focused attention, not to change it or fix it. But you can just place one hand there or two fingers there. And your job is to simply be with this part of your body. Be with this part of your body even more and dropping into it. And just notice what happens as you give that part of your body attention, like loving, caring, compassionate attention. Letting it be here for the journey, letting it be here for the ride. You might notice that it softens or that it starts to open a bit or starts to integrate more with the rest of your body. And as you start to feel that softening, that subtle release, allow the softening to move throughout your entire body. You can do that using your hands, your breath, your attention, your awareness, whatever feels good. Make sure the whole body is covered, like you've painted your whole body in this new sensation. All the way down to your toes, the top of your head. And once your whole body is feeling this new space, allow it to get even more spacious. So start to feel the in-betweens of your breath, the in-betweens of this moment to the next moment. And let yourself fall into the spaciousness, as if you're floating down a soft river. Stay right here in this space. Yes, and then from there, allow the body to do any more subtle movements that it might want that come from this river, that come from this space of ease. And just notice in this space what you notice now about yourself. Who are you now? And from this space, go ahead and let your eyes come back to join us. And type into the chat or in the comments, who are you now? Who's arriving here? How would you describe who is arriving here now? Just type that in. I feel like an ocean. An ocean is arriving to teach you today. You'll be taught by the ocean. Today's masterclass. That's what it feels like. But like the middle of the ocean where the waves are calm. Yeah, and there's just a subtle ripple. That's what I feel like in this particular moment. So I'd love to know what else we have. Connection. Yes. Beautiful. So roots. Thank you. So we have a few different ways to take this masterclass. You can either be on Facebook Live in the Orgasmic Arc community. If you're new to me or you're washing dishes or driving around, you can do that. That works perfectly. You could also be here on Zoom and hang out with us here. If you're the type of person that really likes kind of sitting face to face with someone, that you really like, that works for you versus just the auditory, you might want to be here on Zoom with your camera on, because then we can feel like we're in the same room, like we're sitting here in this right here on my massage table, hanging out together. Yeah. So it depends on your moment, your day. You can change it up however it works for you, but I want a few different accessibility points depending on how you learn best. Because the number one thing about erotic mastery, I'm going to say number one thing a lot, I bet, but one of the big things about erotic mastery is honoring your nervous system, where it is and what it needs. So thank you for being with us in whatever way works for you. If you're catching the replay later, you can't make it the whole time, or you're late, like, it's no big deal. I don't believe in time anymore. I really think that things hit people when they're supposed to hit people. And that's what's happened to me in my journey. Like, I'll watch a thing that's a month late and then it'll hit me right in the moment when I'm supposed to get it. So I really believe in that and I trust in that. So please, like, whatever needs to happen today, there's no apologies needed if you need to jump off or whatever. Okay. No biggie. And if you can stay on today, know that you might need to rest a little bit afterwards. Okay. We will integrate today. It will be an entirely embodied experience. But even in that, we're going to be moving some stuff around energetically inside of your system, and you might find yourself a little tired. So just take care of yourself, some Epsom salts bath, things like that. All right. So here we are. Welcome. I first just want to say thank you so much for being here. It is so cool to me that in my lifetime, I get to have these conversations with people who want to have these conversations. Like, that is mind-boggling to me. It's amazing that we get to have these deep conversations around sexuality, around love, around intimacy, the things that when I was a little girl, I just wished for. It's amazing that they're happening right now. And so I couldn't have these conversations without you. I couldn't go through this without you. And so thank you for being a part of it and being a part of this conversation, for taking the time to be here with us. It's just so amazing and so cool. And I can't wait. It's just, today's going to be wild. So the reason why this masterclass, why I really wanted to do this really badly, I was really feeling it. And I was actually really feeling the title, Existence, before I even felt the details of the masterclass. To me, our sexuality goes hand in hand with being alive, with existing. And we've done a disservice to ourselves over the past few years, decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years, where we've taken our sexual energy and we've stripped it from our existence. We've stripped it from our humanity. We've stripped it and we've put it just here, like just in the bedroom, just if penetration is happening, just if you tell me right in the chat, just if what are some of the things that we're doing to sex, right? Just if it's in porn, just if it's got tools or toys, but otherwise it can't possibly be eroticism. It can't be sex. And to me, this is one of the hugest reasons, the biggest reasons why we don't know our own power, why we don't know our own personal power in our lifetimes, why it's hard to find, why we seem to be seeking. You might be coming to this masterclass today, like seeking to live with more bliss, more ease, more yum, more wealth, more yumminess in the body, more abundance, more joy. For whatever reason, it seems like we've taken the very tool that is needed, right? The very tool that recalibrates us to our life force, to our power, and we've stripped it from society and we've put it in these weird, strange boxes full of shame and guilt and hiding in the corners. And I have studied those shadows. I did it for a very long time. I'm all done now. I have exited the shadows. I'm all done. I think I put in my dues. Then I studied the shadows for over 10 years. And it was fascinating to me to see some of the stuff we're going to talk about today, what I saw, some of the things that I saw. But what happens when we do that to someone's life force? What happens when we tell a person that their sexuality is not valid, or that eroticism is too much, or that their erotic nature can't be on when they're parenting, or right? Like, what happens to the individual? How do they breathe in their bodies? How do they feel joy? Like what? And then it's so painful to live in a body that's been stripped of its eroticism that all we do when we're in that pain is seek for more help. Help me, someone help me, someone help me. It's uncomfortable to be in my skin. Of course it is. Of course it is. Because you don't know you yet. You haven't felt that life force yet, that oomph that is you. Once that's there, don't need anything else. But you see, when our power is stripped this way from us, erotically, it's stripped from us, then we are able to be better controlled. Other people can have power over us, and it becomes a control game, a power game. When our power is taken back and we actually feel how extraordinary we are on the daily. I'm not just talking about like a weekend retreat where you feel amazing, then you go home and everything sucks again. Like actual on the daily power, no one can have power over you. It's like literally impossible. And it makes sense, right? If you think about it, it makes sense why this happened, because it's easier to control us this way. But guess what? I'm very rebellious. Is anyone else here very rebellious? And I look at rules and I look at societal structures and I go, no, I will not wear a shirt. Don't tell me to wear a shirt. I'm one of those people. I'm always like, why am I the only one in a bra? And all these people don't have shirts on. Ah, it bothers me. A little irk for me. These are the things that are keeping us small. And so it's not about getting mad at society. We don't need to do that, because that'll just keep us in the fight, right? Society, patriarchy went, I'm taking your eroticism from you. And we're like, well, fuck you, you suck. And then we're just like literally fighting back and forth. But where's the eroticism? We forgot about it. It's like we're fighting, but we haven't yet reclaimed ourselves. So then what? Once we reclaim our eroticism, the systems are just like, oh, well, I can't fuck with them. All right. And they don't try. We feel free. We're free of all of that. So I have a vision that all of us both reclaim our sexuality, but also integrate it into our daily life so that we develop something called sexual maturity. This is a term that I didn't make it up, but I've never looked up the definition. So my definition of it is sexual maturity is when we can actually utilize our eroticism and our life force for ourselves. It's a dance within. And we're fully satisfied and we're fully turned on to life and we're feeling amazing. That's sexual maturity. Most people nowadays, if you look out into the regular world, during COVID, I didn't go out into the regular world very much, but now that New York City has opened up, I'm like going out into the world and I'm like, whoa, because I live in kind of this bubble where everyone's aware of their energy and then I go out there and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's wild out there. It's like, it's a jungle out there. My goodness. So most people are living in what I like to call sexual adolescence. We're going to go deep into this today. I'm going to give you the frame that I've played with in my mind for a long time. But to give you a little hint, if you think of an adolescent, a teenager, right? And you think of what they must be doing with their eroticism, people grow and age and mature, and even their spirituality grows and ages and mature. They have more understanding of the world and their divinity, but their sexuality is still stuck at adolescence. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this before? And it's very sad. It's very sad to me when I see someone that really understands the truth of reality. Like we're all love and just the truth. Drop some truths. What are some truths that you know about reality in the chat? We're all one. There's only love. Right? Like just drop those in. And like there are people that actually know this. They really know this in their soul. But then when you bring them into their sexuality, they go, everything short circuits. And they become a 15-year-old. This is what I have seen over and over and over again. It has nothing to do with gender. It has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with how we, as a culture, as a community, are integrating our eroticism. That's it. Okay. A lot of people be like, well, it's the men. Well, it's the women. Well, it's no. Well, it's the 30s. Well, it's the 20s. It's just how we're bringing it into our bodies. So the reason that we want to start to develop this sexual maturity in our system is because our eroticism is more, it's so much deeper. It's so much deeper and it's so much more than what we're giving it. Right now, we're only living at like 30% of our erotic power as a world, maybe even less. Most of us, when we live in our full erotic nature, it's going to blow our minds. The choices we make in our day-to-day life, the foods we eat, the way we move our bodies, the way we be with our bodies, even down to the choices you make in conversation. You'll notice yourself saying different words. It's wild. Like everything, when you're in you, when your eroticism is in you, all of a sudden it's like you become your own driver of your own vehicle instead of being swayed and led and hijacked and triggered by blah, 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 the world around you. This is really exciting to me. Pain goes away. Illness, it's just unnecessary. If I get ill, that's still my erotic energy. I can still be erotic in an illness. I just had an illness for like a week. I was sick for a week, which happens a lot before masterclasses because my body needs to rest. It needs to get ready to give you this gift. And so I was deep in it. And to me, I was like, great, erotic energy is cocooning. I'm cocooning right now. How deeply can I cocoon when I go into it? And it was beautiful what came through, the insights, the words, the listening. We start to live our lives as if life is magic because it is. When we wake up erotically, we're like, oh. And logic becomes the oppressor. Logic becomes the thing that you're like, I don't actually need to do that. That's just going to bring my energy further down. And I want to live free now. So I know you might already be thinking like, this sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. This sounds impossible. How do we get there? La, 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 la. We have 2 hours together. Don't worry. I'm going to literally today, I'm going to give you the tools. You're going to have everything. This is not one of those master classes where I just talk to you and get you really excited and then give you nothing. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. I'm going to give you tools that you can take and start to use with your body and your eroticism so that you start to feel this freedom that I'm speaking of, because it's actually already in you and the body actually knows how to get there. So I want to check in. How does that feel for you? Are you in the right place? Do you feel excited? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel inquisitive? Do you feel curious? What's appearing? What's coming? What's coming through? Let me know in the chats. I can't. Oh, love you. I love you. Curious, excited, totally relate. Beautiful. Oh, there's so many people that have been with me for years, and then there's some newbies, and this is so exciting. I love it so much. And this conversation will continue to change. Like a year from now, I'm going to have more insights. You're going to have more insights. But these are the types of conversations we want to be having. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at my notes and I feel kind of bogged down by them. So I might not use them too much. I'm looking at them because I want to make sure I land points, but I'm also like, I kind of just want to be with y'all. So let me see what I do. Let's see what my authentic energy wants to actually do. One piece that I do want to mention is love. Love and eroticism. One of the things that's happened is we've cut the two off from each other. And that actually happens energetically. So the heart, right? The heart center and the erotic center have been cut through the midline of the body, which is where the power center is. So if you don't have a flow of energy between your genitals and your heart, it's very challenging to feel your own personal power. Unless that power is inflated to try to make up for something, or it's deflated as a result of, being overpowered or oppressed over the years. And so one of my favorite first step tools in teaching this is to help you actually start to create a connection between the heart and the genitals. In sexual maturity, what will happen is you won't notice a difference between your heart and your genitals. My partner makes love to me. They could literally kiss my neck and it feels the same as if they're kissing my genitals. They could look into my eyes and it feels the same as if they're staring into my cervix. Like my body is one being now. It's not a bunch of parts. It used to be genital only. That's kind of all I knew. And there's nothing wrong with that phase. We'll talk about the phases in a second, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that the energy gets really condensed and it can become uncomfortable and we can lose the rest of ourselves. And to me, I'm really interested in living a life where all of me is showing up all the time. My full being is showing up all the time in my sex, in my conversations, in the way I love, in the way I parent, in the way I do business, like all of me. It's not like I have different parts that do different things. And I want to be fully here, all of me, all the time. And that to me is sexual maturity. When I'm making love to someone who is sexually mature, I know because I can feel all of them. It's so cool. And that sexual maturity is existence. It's honoring your existence because you are here. You are 1 in a million chance of you being alive. Like my child that I have is not, we had a sperm donor. And so I know I like really looked into conception and how it happens. And when I was pregnant, I was like, this is incredible. Like, this is a miracle. This is a miracle. It is 1 millionth of a possibility that you even exist. And then for you to be that much of a miracle and not know it and not feel it every day. What's that? But because our sex has been taken out of us, because our pleasure has been taken out of us, we can't feel our existence. And if we can really feel our everyday existence, we are blown away. It's like looking at the most miraculous sunset you've ever seen inside of your own body. That's the feeling. It's like being with the most amazing animal, like a unicorn. I don't know. I've never been with a unicorn because it exists. But imagine it's like petting a unicorn every time that you feel your body, which should be 100% of the time, not 5% of the time, or just in that moment when you have a self-pleasure practice. But like, oh, this is how we exist on the planet. And when we exist, we're in our bodies. And guess what? That's where we become powerful. And when we become powerful that way, no one can do anything to us anymore. We can't be swayed. We can't be hijacked. We just are. We just are. And it's stunning. And that doesn't mean that we constantly live in this like, woohoo, I'm peaceful, I'm happy, and love, love. No, we're still an animal. We're still primal beings. We fuck, we fight, we yell, we scream. But that's part of our power. It's not like I'm going to do this because I'm hijacked by you or by this situation. And then I'm going to give you all of my power. It's like this in how deeply, like next time you're angry, how deeply can you feel how angry you are? What if it's so deep? As deep as that when you orgasm and you're like really feeling it, the same thing. That's our existence. When a volcano bursts, I don't think it's doing it haphazard, like it's doing it. I don't think it's doing it half-assed. You know, that was the word I was looking for, half-assed. I don't think it's doing it, looking at itself doing it. I don't think it's like, well, I'm bursting okay today. I'm having an okay time. This is a mediocre explosion. I think it's just like, I'm exploding, right? Wow, that's existence. And when you can live your life like that, moment to moment, there's nothing but peace in it. It's so cool. That's what we're going to play with. That's what we're going to play with. So, la la. Where are you in your sexual journey, when you feel into your erotic nature, when you feel into your, I'm going to give you the words in a bit, but I don't want to give you the words now because I want it to actually come from you. When you feel into your skin and you feel into where you are in your erotic journey, what does it feel like? How would you describe it? I'm curious. Put those in the chats. Is it something outside of you? Or for me, before I found this, it was like a thing I did to make myself happy. Before that, it was a thing I did to release energy. Before that, it was a thing I did to fight back, to release my anger. Before that, it was a thing I did for other people in order to make them love me. So when your erotic energy comes in, what's it for? Ellie says, I'm constantly discovering something new, going deeper and deeper. I love that. The terrain of your erotic energy is going deeper and deeper. Thank you. Stunted and disconnected, immature and childish, repetitive and stuck. Thank you. We're going to go into this deeper. Thank you for that vulnerable share. Today will give you some, hopefully will give you a little hope, a little guidance. I remember when I felt there. Death that feels like food and nourishment. Great. My eroticism is a compass that lights the path to that which lights me up and makes my life worth living. Yay. Beautiful. I love it so much. So we're all in different places, which is why this is like a perfect communal discussion, perfect communal experience, because we can start to see that if someone's in a different stage in their eroticism, we don't have to be like, pew poo. But instead we can go, oh, I was there like yesterday. And we can hold compassion. Yeah, we can hold compassion for that. Great. I love it. So beautiful. So let's go into it a little bit. I want to talk about, first I'll give you the frame, and then we're going to do an embodied practice where we really feel this. So this is the thing. Are you ready? This is the thing that like I've been thinking about for years, and I haven't told anyone. I haven't talked about this with anyone, and I don't know why. It's just been a thing that I've been looking at, and I haven't been able to say it. So it's going to come across when I do say it, know that I haven't, the framework's not all like, it's not very zhuzhed. The words are very simple. I'm not going to give you like cool words. We could come up with cool words together, like a cool acronym, but this is really, I'm just going to give you the steps that are here. Because when I look at a body, if I'm working with a client and I look at a body, I'm assessing a few things to see what stage of their eroticism they're in. And I want to give you that. I want to give you how I do that and how to get them to the next stage, not by pew-pewing where they are. I'm going to say pew-pew, poo-pooing where they are, but moving into the next stage. Okay, so we can look at it like the phases of life. Our eroticism mirrors life because it is life. Okay, so erotic energy is life force energy. What's the difference between a dead person and a person who's alive? Erotic energy. That's it. Okay, literally the only difference. And the more dead we feel, the less erotic energy we have. The more alive we feel, the more erotic energy we have. Sometimes, I'll put a caveat to that. Sometimes we feel very alive when other people have a lot of erotic energy around them, and we're picking up on it. This is why strip clubs are such a big deal. Because people can sit, it's kind of like watching a really exciting movie. They can sit and feel the erotic energy of all the people around them, and then they can get an oomph from it. Yeah, but they don't know how to cultivate it in their body yet. That's why they keep going back. When you learn how to cultivate it in your body, you don't really need to go seek it you're good. Okay, that's what we're going to create. So it goes through the stages of life. What are the stages of life? Infancy, baby. So erotic energy as a baby. I love babies so much. Babies teach me so much. I am in my neighborhood. My neighborhood's very family friendly, and everyone knows each other. It's the kind of thing you go to the coffee shop and it's like, oh, Genevieve, have you met? No. It's just, that's the community I'm in. And almost all of us are moms. It's very cute. I love it so much. So great. So in this neighborhood, there are babies everywhere. And I've been coined the person, basically what does my son call me? He comes up and he tells people, he says, oh, she's the baby whisperer. That's what he says to people. And it's because I can hold a baby and they'll just immediately either fall asleep or be totally chill. I have a very connected relationship to babies. So let's talk about a baby's erotic energy, because this is confusing. And some people might be like, this is totally fucked up. How dare you say that a baby is erotic? So let me go really deep into this so that you can actually understand what I'm saying, not project onto my words what you think I'm saying, but actually understand what I'm saying. So a baby is full of life. A baby is full of love. A baby has zero fear. Baby will just look at you in the eyeballs like, hi. Right? They're just, hi. What is a baby's experience? A baby's experience is being completely unaware that they are separate from the world. They do not know. They have no ego yet. So there's no awareness that I am not my mother, that I am not you. They are just living truth in a body. Yeah. And that is amazing. And that is actually really full erotic energy. However, it's baby erotic energy because they don't know that it's them yet. So what they haven't yet learned is you're the thing that's creating this magic. It's not your mama. It's not the trees. It's not the world around you. You're the thing. Babies don't know that yet. Now, erotic energy in the baby phase, if I'm working with someone and I can feel that I'm going to call it infancy because sounds more professional. Okay, the infancy phase of erotic energy is not knowing that you can cultivate your own. So this is the person that only gets turned on when someone else is touching them. Only finds arousal when the other person, right, is doing something, or maybe the other person's in their erotic energy. So it's this kind of I love arousal. It's super great. I love the world. I'm super into it, but I don't have any on my own. And do you feel how when I'm talking about it, I keep touching my body? This is so key. The way that a baby knows that they're separate from their mother is when they start to feel touch. It happens at around a year old. They start to understand, oh, if my mom is touching me like this, I must be separate because we're two, right? And the touch is really the only separation. Now, I have a course called the Unbroken Course. A lot of you are in there. And I go deeper into what happens when we're not touched as babies and how this affects our nervous system. We're not going to go too deep into that today. It's not super relevant for what we're talking about today. But if you're curious about that, check out the Unbroken Course because we go really deep into lack of touch, right? Neglectful touch as a kid, as a baby. So the work, if you're in that infancy stage, the work is actually having someone that has a sexual maturity, meaning that they're not putting it on you, they get it, it's in their bodies, it's circling through them, they know that it's not you that's bringing it, right? It's in them, right? It's fully in them. Having someone with sexual maturity actually give you back to yourself. That's the work. So it's someone being there to mirror you back to you. Okay, this is the work I do a lot for people in the infancy phase. And I also have coaches that are trained in doing this. How do we bring you back into your own experience so that you can feel your own power and your own eroticism? So that's the infancy stage. You might notice that someone is there if they really, really, really need touch, or really, really, really need sexual energy. This is where addiction comes in. Yeah. They really need it, but it's not actually fulfilling them. And that's just because they haven't yet sat with the awareness of, oh, what I really need is to understand that this is mine. Let me do that work. So that was the beginning of my work, of my sexual healing journey, where as a dominatrix, I started to understand this. It's not the person, my client in the room, that's creating the erotic energy. I'm creating it all on my own. Yeah. And I started to understand that because prior to that, my sexual energy only came in when a boyfriend or a girlfriend wanted to love me. And I thought that in order to love them, I had to get turned on. So my eroticism was not for me back then. Yeah. So the domination work helped me to understand. I started to get like, oh, before my submissive walks into the room, I can actually start to cultivate my energy in my body so that when they do show up, I don't have to do anything. I'm just in my energy and then they'll respond. So that was where I learned that piece. Interesting. Yeah. So that's the first one. I'd love to come up with more like as you're listening, maybe we can come up with cooler names for each of these, but right now I only have infancy. Okay. After infancy, we move to this phase of sexual adolescence. Now, this is where the majority, let's say like 80% of people are. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I messed that up. After infancy, we move to childhood. Yeah, the childhood, the erotic childhood. And I love erotic childhood because it is so playful. It is so playful and fun. This is the space where you've realized in your eroticism that it is yours. And now you get to go do things with it. So now you're like, I want feathers. I want kinky stuff. I want massages. And it's playful. It's this really fun. It's like how a kid, when they start to understand, like my child's 7, so it's like perfect age. He's like really interested in like what feels good to him. He wants to go experience the world that way. It's really fun. And because he knows it's his pleasure to do so, he'll go and do that. That's the child energy. And sex is erotic energy gets to be really childish when you're in this space in like a beautiful, fun way, like you're playing in the sandbox kind of energy. It's fun, it's silly, it's light. It doesn't mean much. Yeah, there's not like this deep soul meaning to it. And many people are living in this energy, this child erotic energy and loving it. So like hang out there, play there. It's amazing and beautiful and amazing. I lived there for a long time. For like 7 or 8 years in my adulthood. I had all the orgies and all the lovers and all the chocolates and all the massages and all the things that I wanted and all the toys. And it was so much fun. I had a blast. And I think this is actually a really important part of our development, as is the infancy stage. So I love this stage for everyone. And if you're there, rock on, keep playing. What happened to me though, was I started to get stuck up against some things. I started to get stuck up against some blocks. Like I would go to, I remember toward the end of my child phase of eroticism, I started going to sex parties and I would sit there and just feel dull. Like it wasn't, everyone would be having sex around me and my friends would be like, and I was like, I feel dull. Like there wasn't much happening. It's like, okay. The last sex party I went to, I'll never forget. I literally just sat there and ate popcorn and like watched everyone have sex. Like I was like, I'm bored. So this will happen. Maybe it might not. You might hang out here for the rest of your life, but most likely you'll reach this point where you're like, I'm bored. This is it. So here's where we move into the adolescent stage of sexuality. And the adolescent stage of eroticism, and I'm interchanging the word sexuality and eroticism because I actually don't believe that there's a difference between sex and eroticism or sex and eros. To me, sex is like a handshake for erotic energy. It's just, that's what's happening. But it's the same as deep eye gazing, holding hands, having sex. Like it's literally the same. It should not, in my opinion, it's the same energy. And there's a miscommunication around it because people think, well, we're touching the genitals is very different. They're different. The genitals are part of your body, just like your lips are, just like your shoulder is. So, but that's my framework based on like what I've played with tons of bodies. It does not fit every framework. So it's okay if you don't agree with me there. But that's why I'm using them interchangeably. You can use whatever word works for you in your mind. So then we move into adolescence, and adolescence is really fun. Sexual adolescence, you get rogue. You go rogue because you start figuring out, like, this is what happened to me at these sex parties. I'd be sitting there, I was bored, I was eating popcorn, everyone was having sex. And I started going on this exploration of like, I'm bored. What is it that I really want? And who am I really as an erotic being? Who am I really? And I started to get kind of oppositional. So if someone was giving me their erotic energy, I would fuck with it. Like I'd figure out how to play with it, or I'd turn it a different way. I was getting really creative with my eroticism. It was really fun. I was like, well, what about this? Does it have to be like this? Can we slow it down? Can we speed it up? This is the adolescent phase, because if you look at a teenager, this is what they're doing. They're like playing. They're playing around, right? And in this phase, you might also feel a lot of healing happening, because this is the stage where you already understand that your erotic energy is yours. You've already had the light fun playing with it, right? You've done all that. You got bored by it. And now you're in this phase where you're realizing, oh shit, the stuff that's holding me back from being fully self-expressed, it's probably some trauma. It's probably some stuff that I need to get mad about, that I need to get to feel empowered about. Yeah, that I need to yell about, that I need to scream about. So this is when my eroticism started getting really loud. It wasn't just like cute, fun, flirty. That's the child part. It started to get really loud. I started screaming. I would cry. Shamanic sexuality falls into this. It's that very kind of like, we're going deep in. Rah! Can you feel the energy of it? Yeah, it's like that very, I see it. I can see it on the internet a lot when people are in that space. It's really fun to see. And it's so hot, like in this grimy kind of dirty way. It's really hot. Like it's very like, let's go in there and fuck shit up. Yeah. So that's a great stage. I love being there. That's so much fun. So I was there for a while, probably like a good 3 years. I did a lot of sexual healing work on myself. I did a lot of hating men, loving men, hating women, because they reminded me of my mom, loving women, hating all humans, loving all humans. Like I did a lot of that, a lot of the deep, deep, deep work. And then here's the kicker. I thought that by doing that deep work, that going into the, like going in there and like, that I would just kind of, I don't know what I thought. I remember feeling that I was really afraid. And I'm curious who resonates with this. I remember like journaling, being really, don't worry, you probably heard from me that I don't like journaling. What I mean by journaling is like one sentence. This is what I'll do. I'll write like one sentence. So I wrote like one question in my journal. I remember this. And the question was, what do I do if my erotic energy goes away? Like as I do this healing, what if it goes away? What if as I go into the roots of it, I'm not turned on anymore? I'm nervous. Like I stopped feeling arousal for everyone for a while. This really weird, what's going on? So here's what was actually happening. And this blows my fucking mind because I didn't know this. So I thought I was, but I reached a point where I was like, I think I'm going to be happy if it kind of goes away and I just find peace. I'll be fine. Like I've done enough work. It's been fun. I was really sex crazed for a long time. I can just kind of chill. I don't need it. I don't need to have sex in my marriage. I don't need erotic energy. So then here's the beauty. What started to happen is that I started to find something phenomenal in my body. And I now call this authentic arousal. And this is when we get to sexual maturity. And what was happening at the time when I wasn't feeling arousal, in my perception, what was happening was the energy that was stuck in my genitals and stuck in my solar plexus started to move up. We talk in textbooks, they talk about Kundalini Rising. Yeah. So that actually starts to happen. And so that started happening and all my energy started mixing. And so there was a while where I didn't feel much. And then all of a sudden I started to notice these really subtle sensations of arousal. And I started to notice that I was so satisfied with the subtle sensations of arousal. And I was like, what is this? I would look at a cloud and I would get turned on. My partner would just like touch my hand and I would feel arousal. I would wake up in the morning and feel arousal, but I didn't feel like I had to do anything with it. It just felt great. I was like, this is new. And I thought it was just a thing. It hasn't gone away. I literally am living in this constant vibrational energy is what it feels like. It's this consistent like feeling of everything. in my body and in my existence. And the reason that I call this sexual maturity is that in this place, you don't need to do anything. In adolescence, you do. You have to push up against, you have to be defiant, you have to be oppositional. Otherwise, you can't do the healing work. In childhood, you do. You've got to go get curious. You've got to go do, right? You've got to do that. As an infant in sexual infancy, there's stuff to do. You got to figure out who you are. Sexual maturity, I don't. It's bizarre. And so when I do make love, I make love the same way that I make tea. I make love the same way that I dance. I make love the same way that I read a book to my kid. It's this my eroticism has become this through line of energy in my body that because I'm living in that, I now have this bizarre baseline of beauty. It's like consistent beauty. And this consistent beauty just creates more beauty. So I'm just walking around, literally just birthing beauty everywhere. That's exactly what it feels like. When I'm crying, beauty. When I'm screaming, beauty. But I'm not running away from it. I'm not pushing up again. I'm literally just like, here I am being in this. And can you feel what would happen if every single one of us here, plus everyone that you know, like there might be some sex coaches in here, some pleasure coaches, like what if this started to be understood? And we started to understand eroticism this way. And we started to see that in the sexual maturity, there's no room. There's no room there for fault. There's no room there for shame. There's no room there for rape or abuse of sexuality. Like it just doesn't exist. It's not in my body. There was room for that when I was a sexual adolescent. Absolutely. Because I had so much condensed energy in my solar plexus. I was angry. There was a lot I had to be mad about. And so that was important that I had coaching back, like I had frameworks and coaching. But in the sexual maturity phase, it's this strange, like, I'm just existing. I'm existing as an erotic being, and it's great. And I'm really excited to see if there is a next. It definitely doesn't feel like there is a next. It feels like this is just kind of it. Here we are, we've landed here. And so if there is a next, I'll do another masterclass and tell you, but so far it feels like this is the place of rest. Because eroticism in this place is it's so easy. And I'll still go to the sex parties and the orgies and have all the sex, but it's coming from me only if I authentically desire to share. Your erotic energy is life that you desire to share with another. That's what it actually gets to be. It's like, here's a bit of my life. Here, have it. Here's a bit of my life force here. I'd like to share it. And then the other cool thing is you only choose people who are also living in that phase. You'll always find someone that's in your same phase unless you're on the brink of moving to the next one. And then you might learn from them. Yeah. But so I have such an easy, authentic no now with my erotic energy. If someone wants to share, even just as friendships or in business collaborations, there's such a deep instinctual knowing in my body that's like, no, not in sexual maturity yet. I'm waiting. I'm a no. And I just listen to it. So it's pretty cool. And the cool thing is, the only way to move through these phases is to do your own erotic work. So eroticism by its very nature, and the ancient texts talk about this, how Kundalini by its very nature will actually just bring you here. It'll just guide you to this place if you stay with it and you stay with yourself. So we're going to go through a practice. We're going to experience these phases of our erotic lives, okay? The life cycle of our erotic mastery. And how the biggest tip I can give you is that you can't move to a new stage or new phase of life by trying to get there. Have you ever looked back at your life and been like, man, I did not know what I know now. But back then I was really trying to know what I know now, but like it wouldn't work until I became who I am now. Like you can't force your knowing. You also can't force your erotic growth. But the way that makes it, I believe that the reason that I've been able to land here is because the work is inward. And that shift for me from the sexual adolescence where I really needed to push up against other people erotically and in life. My life was pretty dramatic during that time. I really needed the drama, loved the drama. Oh my God, I was fed by it because it helped me figure out me and landed my no. I'm very self-righteous. So that outward, you're still looking outward. As in the infancy stage, I'm looking at someone to help me know who I am. In the childhood phase, I want someone to play with. In the adolescent phase, I really need someone to push up against. In the maturity phase, you don't need anyone else. And so the space between to get into sexual maturity is actually an inward journey. It's a deep inward journey. And so we have a tool for that. We're going to do the tool today. This is the tool that I've been doing on myself for the past 2 years. And there's now a few dozens of you also doing this tool on your body. It is an inward tool. It's a tool where you get to see where your eroticism is and really claim it and really land it in yourself. Because the only way to mature in your eroticism is to stay inward. It's a deeply, deeply inward observance. Yeah, it's for us. It's not for anyone else. Because when we find it, then it becomes for everyone else. Like if you want to make a huge impact in the world, find yourself. That's it. When you find yourself, the impact will come. Because it'll be like, whoa, they're in themselves. This is amazing. They're already impacting the world by living. This is awesome. That's how it works. Great. I just want to make sure it's time. Yes, it's time to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to either lie down, we could stay sitting, whatever feels good for you. And I'm going to bring you through something. A lot of you might already know this method. It's the method that I use. It's called the Orgasmic Arc. I'll tell you what we've done after we've done it. So I want to go into it first, and then I'll kind of guide you what just happened. Do your best to be as inward as you can. So before we go into this, it'll be about a 10-ish minute practice. As you go into it, really allow yourself to set up your space. Like, what is it that you need in order to know that your eroticism is for you? Remember, we're starting in that baby, the infancy stage, right? What is it that you need to know that this is for you and not for anyone else? This isn't to show up differently. Really get yourself set up to be you fully and completely. And you can either lie down or sit, whatever feels good for you. Gosh, I just realized my cat is behind me and has been there probably the whole time. And I was covering him up. I don't know if y'all saw him. He's the best. All right. Finding a place either to sit or to lie down. And allow yourself the time and the space. Just make a little promise to yourself before we go in. Make a little promise to yourself that you're going to take this moment to really be with you. Take this time to deeply be with your nervous system and your body, and that you're going to start to cultivate a relationship with it. Good. And you'll feel me kind of intermix the erotic life cycle as I guide you through the steps. So they'll be a little different than how you may have received the Orgasmic Arc in the past if you're a recurring student. All right, so just begin by feeling the energy around your body. We're going to start in the infancy stage, and we're going to start to cultivate safety. So just feel the energy around your body as best you can. Whatever that means for you as you feel it, you might see visuals, there might be colors. You might notice things happening in your body or notice things on your skin. Just start to feel what's there. And now just start to allow yourself to soften the energy. This is a very energetic prompt. So those of you that are energetic will relate to this. If not, this might be challenging for you. Just skip it if it doesn't work. And that's with anything I say. See if you can soften the energy around your body. Soften it as best you can, ground it. And now start to bring it closer in toward your body. You can actually, if you desire, you can take your hands and start bringing them towards your body if you want, or just feel the energy moving toward you. So you're starting to bring the focus toward yourself. And in your mind, you could say something to yourself like, hi, me, or hello, or welcome. And just bringing yourself here. You might find your hands naturally touching your body. If they do, I recommend touching somewhere that you have skin on skin. And then just start to feel the relationship between your hands and your own body. Is it a relationship that you know well? Is it a relationship that feels a little foreign? Play with what it would be like if your hands were helping your body to find itself. Your hands are there to bring your body back to itself, to bring it in. Yes, good. And now start to feel the heaviness in your body. Let yourself start to feel the heaviness around your pelvis, in your bones, in your feet. Start to allow the body to rest here, held in this space. Allow yourself to feel even more rest. And just notice the ease of your breath. See if you can find as much of your own heaviness inside of your body as you can. Feeling the weight of your legs and your feet. There you go. And just feel what it feels like to rest. And from here, you'll start to notice perhaps that your body will start to feel something as you breathe. So as you start to increase the breath, you might start to notice the feeling of the breath on the body. You might start to notice that the body wants to make subtle movements. You may also just really want to rest inside of your body. If at any point on this journey that's what is desired, please stay there. That is one of the most amazing things you can cultivate for your nervous system, is your ability to rest in you. So go for it if that feels right. If you're starting to feel things as you breathe and perhaps subtle movements are happening, let yourself play here. So this is the energy of the child. It's fun, it's light. Let yourself play with the energy as your hand touches your body, as your breath breathes you, and feel the way that a child does playing in a sandbox. Like so curious about the sandbox of your own skin. What does it feel like? What are the sensations? And really be in the sensations. When a child is playing, they're not thinking about what they're playing, they're just playing. So let yourself play with your body here. Give yourself permission to feel, to play, to bring this energy into your body. What does it feel like if you scratch your skin? What does it feel like if you massage your body? What does it feel like if you take really deep, deep breaths? What does it feel like if you stretch your body? What does it feel like as you move or undulate your spine? And don't even give those questions answers with words. Just feel them. Feel even more in your body. Keep feeling, keep going, feeling it all, letting it all come up. Good. You can always rest at any point if any of the energy gets too intense for you. Otherwise, continue to feel. And then you'll start to notice perhaps in this feeling that there might be one part of your body that seems like it's holding you back. One part of your body that feels stuck or stagnant. What I want you to do is I want you to meet that part of your body. So you could take 2 fingers there or a hand there. And really stay with this part of you. Just stay right there. It might be intuitive or there might actually be a physical pain. And now I want you to imagine that you're a peaceful warrior going into this part of your body, and you're not going to let this part of you go. You're here to reclaim this part of you, to help integrate it into your erotic energy. So you're going to move your focused awareness to this point. Stay in your focal point. Stay in your focused awareness. Keep meeting this part of you energetically, pushing into your body and helping your body push back. So you're in that point of tension. Go deeper into the point of tension and bring all of your energy from your head down right into this point. There it is. Good. Stay right there. And then from there, you might start to notice an opening. This opening might be tears, breath, ease, laughter, relief. Things become a bit softer. See if you can stay with that part of you as you do this, but let this relief start to wash over the body. The relief of actually being with you, of meeting yourself, meeting your erotic energy and saying, I'm here for you. You did that. So just feel what it feels like to do that for you, to reclaim that. This is the importance of the adolescent phase, right here. You did that. You did it. Feel that. And now, feel how easy it is to just be here. If your mind starts spinning or you lose yourself, you lose the moment, just come back to rest. Otherwise, just be right here. Let yourself really surrender to this. It's okay if you start to feel more expanded or like you're moving away from your body a bit. That's okay. Let yourself go there. And now as we move into sexual maturity, start to feel your actual erotic nature. Feel how it wants to dance and play. Does it want to move? Do you want to be still? Does it want to rest? You might get insights here about who you are now. Your body might just start moving without your awareness, or it will feel as though you're not even moving yourself, but it's moving you. Allow that to expand from yourself, from your body. See what emerges. Be in the emergence of you. Notice there might be sounds, the breath might change. Touch might change. You might touch a different part of your body. And then allow yourself to come back when you feel ready, when that feels right for you. And start typing in the chat as you come back, shares or insights, what you noticed about yourself, your body, your nervous system, your erotic energy, what was easy, what was challenging, what landed. Just type away. Type away, get that down on paper. You can also just journal if you don't want to share publicly. Get it down on paper. What did you notice as you slowly come back to us? Good. Great. I can't wait to see what you write. It is weird that it's following the arc. I didn't realize how much the erotic life cycle overlays the arc until today, talking about it. I'm like, oh, got it. Julia says it's warm and whippy, like something with long tentacles. Oh my gosh, amazing. And start to feel like what phase of that felt like you, or where you are now. And what phase of that felt confusing or like challenging or scary. I just want to know. I want to know what's happening in our nervous system, what's here. So in this place that we're in now, after that practice, we've moved all the way through the orgasmic arc. I'm going to tell you what it is in a second. Don't worry if you don't know it. We moved all the way through the orgasmic arc, all 6 steps, and we've moved all the way through all four stages of the life cycle of erotic mastery. And so now we're in a space, at least in how it feels to me and how it's felt to people I've coached. It's this space of ease, of grace, of erotic fluidity. Like our life is erotic, that those roses are erotic, this cat is erotic, like everything becomes erotic because you're just alive and turned on. The bringing of presence was really important for me throughout it all. That's the key. The only way to shift your nervous system and change your reality is to be present to yourself. If you're not present to yourself, but you're deeply wanting to change, nothing will change except more drama and more chaos. When you go in and you feel yourself, you'll see that there's usually only a little like that wants to be moved energetically. And then once it's then you're in the orgasm again of life. It feels like a different kind of energy than I'm used to. It's warmer. Ooh. And this is pretty incredible because I'm usually very energetically aware. Yes. So in my experience, it feels full. Like when I'm in this space, which is now I live in this space, but like there's a fullness in my body. I feel warm in my body. I feel present with everything, even my computer, like how the keys feel. Mm-hmm. Those of you that have online businesses, I get the question all the time, isn't it annoying being on the computer all day? And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm just feeling the people. I'm feeling the people. I'm not even registering that there's, like, I'm not in opposition. That's adolescence, right? So for me, I'm like, well, there's Beth on my screen. And I can feel her, like we're sitting in a room together. So it's easy. I'm not quite in the adult stage, but I love the feeling and realization that it is me, all me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a big moment. I want to give you that moment. That's a beautiful moment. I love that moment. I can actually create pleasure. Yes. Yes. An opening of waves and waves of fractal energy patterns from my sacrum. Yeah. Thank you for saying the word fractal. That always turns me on. I appreciate you. Tears of relief, infinite oceans of life right there inside. That's absolutely correct. That is you. Protection came up. Seeing how much I've not listened to my body, overrode the no in my body, felt resistance to the opening, felt like a shutdown adolescent stage. That's 100% right. So the reason I like to give these names as, oh, we're in the adolescent stage, because how often when we feel shut down, do we immediately go into shame? I'm shut down, I didn't do it right, or protection came up. But instead, if I can go to myself and say, oh, I'm just feeling my adolescent sexuality right now. Like I'll have moments, usually when I feel my adolescent eroticism the most when I've overworked my body. Like I've ignored her for too long. Say like I had like a 10-hour something on the computer and I ignored her. At the end of the day, she's like, I need an orgy now. And she's very demanding. Yeah. She's very like, rah, and angry. And that to me, that happens often because I haven't fully been in my power. So that's the adolescent stage, is like learning how powerful you are, really learning it. And so when you know it, you're like, oh, I can work with this. I know what stage I'm in. I can work with this. When I was in the infant stage, I literally said to my mentor at the time, I need you to pretend to be my parent because I didn't get touch as a child. And so I need you to put your hands on my body and touch me as if I'm a baby so that I can actually understand that I am my own self. And that was our work together. It was really an important work for me. So it's not like if you're in the infant stage, you're less than. Yeah. It's just, for me, it's motivating to know where I'm going. And that it's really not so hard to skip from one to the other. Yeah. Yeah, the adolescent stage, absolutely. Learning your uniqueness, how powerful you are. I had to, like, when I was in my adolescent sexuality, so much of it was like, but I want this and you want that. There's a lot of those fights. But I don't want that and you want that. And how are we going to make this work? No. So that's just me not knowing yet that I get to be unique. I didn't have an experience of how beautiful it was that I was so unique. And so the adolescent stage, I really had to learn, like, it's awesome that I want my life like this, and you want your life like this, and you want your life like this, and you want your life like this, and we're all different and we're all unique. And that's the beauty of it. And you can think of, like, to me, the reason I like using the words infancy, childhood, adolescence, and maturity is that you can think of kids growing up in the adolescence. That's what a proper adolescent should be. A teenager going haywire, just trying on everything, right? Trying on different hats every day because they don't know who they are yet. They haven't claimed their power. They haven't claimed their uniqueness, right? But people that didn't get that phase, it might be like, maybe in your life, you didn't get to be an adolescent. I was a really good adolescent. You can read it in my memoir. It was quite the adolescent, but I didn't have infancy. I never knew touch. So a lot of my sexual maturity was stuck in that infancy stage because I didn't know touch. So I couldn't find sexual maturity. In the adolescent, if you didn't have the adolescent phase growing up, what might be happening now is that it might be moving into your erotic, like you might have an erotic charge with this part of you that really needs uniqueness and freedom and power and all of that. So it's pretty beautiful. I love that so much. Yes, we do have a Q&A tomorrow. So I do want to tell you that as I see questions coming in, and these are such great questions and I may or may not get to them, but I will get to all of them tomorrow. The Q&A is in the Orgasmic Arc community. It'll be a live stream in there, and you just post your question at the top of our little feed. If you can't find it, tag me, tag Ariel. We'll get you in there, and then I'll answer all the questions, all of them, because I'm sure after today you'll be like, well, I have questions, lots of questions. Okay, so you can ask them. And the real way to move through, I wrote this in my notes, and I want to make sure that I share this piece before I talk about the Orgasmic Arc a bit more. The important piece is that in each stage, there are shadows. There's a shadow of the infant stage and thinking that you're everyone, not being able to separate. There's a shadow in the child stage of, not feeling safe enough to get curious. The adolescent phase of being kind of in self-righteous anger and just kind of living there, right? Or demanding energy, or, just angry, I hate you energy. And it's very like, dismisses the other person, dismisses the experience of reality. And then there's even a shadow of sexual maturity, of hierarchical thinking, of thinking that this is the way to be. The other stages are not okay. No, they're all beautiful. Like when I popped into the childhood stage, I was so happy. I was like, I'm the sexual being and I want all the toys and all the fun. Like when I popped open in adolescent phase, I was thrilled. I was like, I am so powerful. Look at how powerful I am. Rah! And that's when I made a ton of money. Like it was like really fun. Like that was a good moment. The infancy stage, that moment was so beautiful when I felt myself. Oh my God, I would never want to miss. Like they're so gorgeous. So we don't have to rush through. Yeah. So what did we do in that practice? I want to make sure you know it and you have it and you're aware of it. Now, most of you already know the Orgasmic Arc, so I don't want to go too deep into it. I will tell you that there is a free, it's like a 3-day self-pleasure challenge. It's called Own Your Orgasm, and it's in the Orgasmic Arc community. You could watch that right after this because it'll guide you through the 6 steps of the Orgasmic Arc. But I do want to give them to you so you're tracking it a bit and you know what you moved through. Okay, so the first step of nurturing your erotic energy is to land yourself in a sense of safety. So we did that at the very beginning, and I kind of intertwined it with that infancy stage. So I wanted you to feel your body, but also feel that rest in that ground. If we don't have safety, or if we haven't established ourselves as separate beings, claiming our eroticism is going to be pretty challenging. So that safety stage is huge. If you don't have safety in your body, and you might see this with people that you know or people that you are aware of, the energy is not with themselves, right? Without safety, they're always outside of themselves, seeking it everywhere else. Yeah, I need this. They need a lot of things. They need. And that's just the little baby going, give me help. because they don't know where they are yet. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. And so developing a felt somatic sense of safety in the body is so key. You may have heard me tell my story already before, but I didn't even know what safety was. I remember talking to my mentor and being like, I would like to learn safety, please. And he was like, what does it feel like in your body? And I was like, I don't know. I've never felt it before. And he was like, well, that's not going to work because you can't move into something that we don't know. So I started with like, okay, let me just try rest. I know rest. I know relaxation. Let's start there. And then I started to learn, like, what would it be like if I didn't think that my life was constantly in threat? I didn't, I had really early developmental trauma. So for me, like developing that there is no threat was huge. And it really helped me claim my eroticism. Once safety lands, you start to get this natural intrigue. Intrigue is step 2. This is your curiosity into your sexuality. It also kind of ties in with the childhood space of like, I want to go explore things, right? But it's also, what does this feel like on my body? What's the sensation? And the trick here is to really give yourself permission. Have you ever felt really like started to feel aroused and been like, this is not okay, I need to shut it down? Anyone? I started to feel aroused and then been like, no. I remember when I was breastfeeding, and I was like, normally when I would breastfeed, I've always been a bit of a hippy dippy. I would allow myself to feel arousal because it is arousing. Oxytocin is released. It's really yummy. Yeah. But I was in a group with people and there's a bunch of women and I was breastfeeding and I didn't allow myself. I was like, nope, shut it down. Nope, like not here. And by feeling arousal, I literally mean like feeling arousal. Because when you're feeling arousal, you're not doing anything to it, with it. You're in your body. So just feeling it, just feeling the arousal, right? Very normal process, very beautiful process, innocent. Our eroticism is innocent. It's not going to hurt anyone. Like it's fine. But I remember I shut it down. And I couldn't, like after that day, my milk supply started going down. I was like, huh, this is very interesting. And it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So that ability to be with ourselves and feel that arousal is actually like nourishing, nurturing for humanity, for the body and for humanity. Yeah. And then after you start to feel intrigue, step 2, then your body will start to show you where it's resistant, where it's stuck. This I tied in with the adolescent phase, but the adolescent phase could kind of be anywhere depending on, I just put it here for the demo. So when you're in that space and you're feeling like a stuckness in your body, a tension in your body, like something's hurting or it's just not moving, the energy's not moving and the energy's going drab. This is step 3. This is directionality. So what you want to do is you want to go really deeply into whatever you're feeling and see if you can tie the feeling, the physical sensation with the emotional feeling together. You can do that. You'll most likely be able to go deeper into the sensation and then you'll feel openness. Openness is the orgasm. That was that moment of release. That's step 4. If you stay in openness, step 5 is beingness. Beingness is when you tie yourself to the divine. This is where your sexuality becomes aligned with what it actually is, which is your divinity and your life force. Yeah, it's also where your theta waves turn on and everything gets really juicy, yummy, amazing in that space. And then from this spaciousness, we create. From this spaciousness, I can't say that enough. So many people are like, how do you do what you do? From spaciousness, from void, I wait. I sit and I wait and I give myself the opportunity of being as frequently as possible. I just be as much as I can. And then from being, something will arise instead of arouse. Something will arise. Your authentic expression comes through here. This is also where sexual maturity lives. This is actual sex magic. There's a lot of sex magic stuff out there. Who's studied sex magic or knows sex magic? So you might feel similar to how I feel about this if you've studied it. There's a lot of sex magic stuff out there that's very go in with an intention, have an orgasm, and then you'll make a 6-figure month. Go in with the intention, or like put it on a vision board, an orgasm while you're looking at the vision board, and then you'll create the money, right? This is not what our eroticism is meant to be used for. We can't use our erotic nature to create something like that. It doesn't work like that. Our erotic nature is who we are. So if we use our erotic nature like that, we're using ourself like a mule to create something that our ego wants. And then guess what will happen? Either the thing won't get created, or it will, and it will suck. It'll feel really dissatisfying. What we do instead is we let ourselves sit in our divinity. After we've had our orgasm or our cry or our override, we're just like, ah. And then from that divinity comes what's next. So we listen, and then it comes what's next, and that's sexual maturity. Sexual maturity isn't, I'm going to plan to get aroused today. It's, I'm feeling arousal. Great. Do I need to do anything with this? No. Okay, I'm just going to feel it. I've been aroused for like 17 days straight, just like living in it. Oh, and from that, like I write poems. From that, I dance. From that, I hang out with my cat. From that, I make love. Like, right? Do you feel it? That's where your energy actually lives, in that arousal. That's your authentic expression of you. Yeah, those are the 6 steps. Yeah, we did it. We went through the 6 steps. Chucky. How are you feeling? That was a lot of words. How are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Take a check-in with your body, like move it around, feel what needs to happen, touch your body. Can you touch yourself? Can you still feel yourself? Are you still in the room? Just feel that. Great. Okay, so what I want to do next is show you a bit of a little overwhelmed, lots of excitement and gratitude. Okay. So what I'm going to do is show you a bit of what my practice looks like now. And this is such an interesting thing. So about a year ago, I used to demo a lot. How many of you have been to one of my events where I would demo my self-pleasure practice? Yeah. And it's really fun and cool and awesome. It's really cool. I like it. You like it. We all like it. What I've noticed in my life, though, like if I could be really real with you, I don't set aside self-pleasure anymore in sexual maturity. I don't need to. I'm just always self-pleasuring. The only time I will set it aside is if I start to feel myself contracted, or if I'm in my head, or if I'm thinking logically. Then that's my signal to go in self-pleasure. When I was learning to really nurture and nourish my nervous system, I did my practice every single day, every day, because I needed to go through the orgasmic arc over and over and over again. But there is an endpoint to needing to practice riding a bike. After a while, you just have the bike and then you ride it when you want it. You're not like, well, I'm going to go try again. Like I'm learning how to swim right now. I'm taking swimming lessons. And so every week I have to be, and I'm doing it because this is a story, but I was all the trauma as a kid, almost drowned twice, lots of fear, would try to get in the water, my body would freeze. But now that my nervous system is living in authentic arousal, it's open, it's relaxed, it's actually really willing to learn how to swim. It's like, ooh, that's fun, let's do that. And it's a desire I have. I'm like, okay. So I have to show up there every single week, whether I like it or not, and get in the fucking water and do my thing, right? And learn. And in there, I'm doing the arc. Am I safe? Okay, what do I need to feel safe? Got it. Okay, can I feel the water? Like I'm doing it in there. Hot tip, if you're learning how to swim, it's been way more fun than in the past when I've tried. But if I didn't go weekly, I don't think I would really learn how to swim. I wouldn't have consistency. So at the beginning, I needed, like for a good 2 years, I needed a daily self-pleasure practice. And then once I became Eros, because it's just kind of like, oh, I am the thing. The practice is unnecessary unless I'm contracted and I need a tool. So what I'm a mermaid. Yeah, it becomes autopilot. Like you just start living in the pleasure of everything. It's really delicious. And I mean, I can't tell you the last time my partner and I have had sex. I don't know. It could have been yesterday. It could have been 4 weeks ago. We're not counting it because we're living aroused. We're just like, yeah. Like, and then if it happens, it happens. Feel that instead of like, well, you know, a good marriage should have sex twice a week, you know, and all the cosmopolitan articles. Those are all bullshit. Right? What makes a sex life amazing is when it's in you. So you're not tracking it anymore. And it's just in you. And then you're just happy to be with your partner. And then maybe sex happens, maybe intercourse happens, maybe it doesn't. Right? So that's how we do it. So what I'm going to show you is let's pretend that I have a desire to do a self-pleasure practice. Okay. So I don't give myself the rigidity of it anymore. I just wanted to be really real with you, because I tell a lot of people, make sure you have a daily self-pleasure practice. But the other day I was like, I'm not doing it every day anymore though. Like I don't lie down every day. And is it okay for me to tell people? Yes, because I needed the training wheels. And I think most people do too, to start. So use the training wheels, have a practice every day. But let's pretend that I'm like in the mood. I'm tired, I'm about to give a presentation, or I just want an oomph. I'll show you kind of how I move through the orgasmic arc. And what I would love for you to do while I do this is I would love for you to notice in your body what happens as I move through the stages, the life cycle. So you'll see me kind of move through a bit, like kind of touch on them, or I'll try to touch on them for you so you can feel them. And then those of you that know the orgasmic arc, pop quiz, you're going to type in the chat when you see me in the different steps. Okay, that's your pop quiz. Are you ready? I'm gonna go into it. I'm gonna have to move Calvin. Everyone say hi to Calvin. What are you doing? He's been there. He always comes just for master classes. He's so funny. Otherwise, he's not here with me. Buddy, I got a self-pleasure. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. Okay, I kind of don't want to move him. You know what I'm going to do instead? He just gave me an insight. Just kidding. You're not going to see a demo. What we're going to do instead is I'm going to guide one of you, because my cat really doesn't want to move and I don't want to move him. So who wants to be guided through the orgasmic arc, or through we can like work with your nervous system and what stage you're in. So anyone that wants to do that, go ahead and raise your hand. Dre, you brave rock star. Thank you so much for coming in. My cat is brilliant. He knows better than I do. He's like, no, you're not supposed to demo. Okay.
I'll volunteer, I guess. If you need one.
Thank you. Thank you, Avin. Dre's already up here, but next time. Okay. Thank you so much. I'd love to work with you next time. Okay, Dre. Are you ready? So before we go into your body, we worked a little bit yesterday together in the Unbroken Course. Was that yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
And we moved through I just want to give them where you're at. So you moved through the orgasmic arc. And where are you at now after that practice with me yesterday?
Where am I at?
Yeah.
A lot of things kind of like dots connecting, and understand the piece, like openness in the last couple steps. I haven't read that part in the book. They're just kind of landing. I'm starting to understand a little bit, but I feel like a little bit of resistance to them, or I don't know if it's fear in my body or what it is, but
okay,
maybe
cool.
It's just trying to figure it out. It's still in my head, where I really have direct experience of the first 3 steps.
Great. Okay, great. And when I was talking about the stages, you mentioned that you were feeling kind of, or when we moved through it, you felt kind of a protection around the adolescent stage, you think maybe.
Yeah, like when you were telling your story, it was interesting of like reflecting on, I get that maybe like that they don't necessarily come in order sometimes, or they pop up. And so it was like reflecting on my adolescence and kind of like what was going on. And it's just a new way to look at it.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, So we're going to see what appears, see what comes up for you. And yeah, just get cozy. Whatever you want to be is great.
That's it.
That's perfect. And if you feel safe and comfortable to close your eyes, you can. Good. Your nervous system already feels different today after yesterday's.
Yeah, it does.
So just starting with safety. And I'm curious here about, as you ground into your body, can you also give yourself touch, just to give yourself feedback that you're here in your body? See what touch works for you. It might even be like the touch of your shirt against your skin, if that feels better, if you don't want to do too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, so just feel what type of touch is easeful for you. Good. And as you do this, see if you can feel the nourishment of you inside of your own skin, inside of your own body. Yeah, good. Feeling that all of the focus gets to be you with your body right now. You don't have to put your focus outward at all. That's it right there. And then in this place, start to notice any sensations that come up. Just let those start to move through your body. Start to feel them. They're really subtle. They're like inside of your stomach area right now. There you go. Just tune into feeling them. Can this part of it feel kind of playful, curious? Like, oh, what does this sensation feel like? And as you breathe, what does this sensation feel like? Without jumping out of your body or overwhelming yourself. So it's little bits. There you go. Good. Keep breathing. Yes, there. I can feel you feeling you. Keep breathing in. Now put your awareness into the sensations. So you're not looking at the sensations or thinking about the sensations, but you are the sensation. You are the sensations. And start to notice that space where the sensations get kind of stuck together. There's like a condensing there. It's kind of stuck. And you can either put a finger there or your hand there, or you could just be with that energetically. Just be right there in that spot. Now, what I'm curious about is, can you take your mind, put it in that spot? For me, is go all the way into that spot and then feel the emotion that's right there and bring that up. And it's this feeling like you're meeting yourself with a shield, like you're pressing up against it. And the emotion is meeting you there too. And you're at this tension point. Good. Good. Can you bring more of yourself to yourself here? Thank you. Yeah, even more. Good. Good. Feel the emotion. Let it bubble up. Let it rise. Feel more of yourself. Bring more of yourself to you here. Even more. Don't give up on you right here. Don't give up on yourself here. Stay with you. with you. I know there's like a part of you wants to pull away. So see if you can bring it in. Even if it's like angrily bringing it in, angrily coming forward, reluctantly bringing it. Just go into it. There you go. Yes, love. It's like, oh. There might be sound, there might be breath. There's definitely a jaw release in there somewhere. And that anger feeling, I want you to feel that bubbling up to the surface more. Yes, there you go. Bubble, 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 bubble. Yeah, good. Push against, push against, push against, push against, push against. Don't leave yourself. Stay with you. One more little push. Yeah, good breath. And then let that big breath move through the body. Good. Yeah, there you go. Good. Feel this release, this openness, this tears, the emotion. Let that come all the way through. Yeah. With kindness, with care, with a feeling of I did it. I did the thing. Just feel how you met yourself. Yeah. Feel there's lightness here. Yeah, good release. The back body, just let go. Feel that. And then just start to ground you when you're ready. Start to ground yourself when you're ready. And start to come back up when you're ready. And really giving yourself that care, that compassion, that celebration for the work you're doing on your nervous system. Good. Make sure to feel the heaviness of the feet and the legs. Feel the present moment. Yes, there you go. And bring the energy down into the body, into the legs. And then everyone type into the chat what you're feeling in your body right now. What are the sensations or the emotions coming through you? Good. Tears. Good. And then Dre, when you feel safe, ready, or able, you can go ahead and come back toward me. Renewed. And let's give Dre some opening new place. I love that. Let's give Dre some love in the chat of like what that did for you to watch her move through that. Give some support. Meeting ourselves is one of the most courageous acts we could ever do. Actually, I think it is the most courageous act we could ever do, to be honest. It's the most courageous thing we could ever do. Yeah. So Dre, when you're ready, you can share anything that's here. And I'm just going to cover you in love, admiration for your power.
It's like tightness in my hips releasing. It's like a deep forgiveness. of all these times I said yes when it was a no. You know, like a screaming no and a resistance, but I let it happen. You know, this disagreement, like of pushing past my body's own consent.
Yeah.
You know, because I was supposed to, or because he wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't taught I could say no.
Yeah. Who can relate to that? Yeah. I don't know if you can see the hands on your screen. There's a lot.
If I said no, it was like too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you'd lose love, or you'd be abandoned, or you wouldn't
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they wouldn't like me anymore. Mm-hmm.
So you just did the work. And Dre, I know that the tendency here when we uncover something like this is we want to go and like heal it all right now in a day.
Mm.
The
It's
healing
true. I
work,
can feel there's a lot there.
yeah, healing works little petals, little bits at a time. So the only job for you is to keep finding safety, nourishment, and comfort, and come into community if you need us to help you with that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you want to say?
It's a feeling of like, yeah, like I won't belong if I don't comply or do the thing or be cool or act like the porn star or whatever, the performance shit, like, yeah. But there's a realization in that they're doing the same thing.
Yes.
Like they've skipped over safety in their body. They don't even know what they're doing either. So there's a forgiveness for those people also. Like that, I attracted that because I was in that same place. Like I didn't know safety. They didn't know safety. Here we are.
That's absolutely right. And now you're doing the work so that will never happen again.
Yeah.
For you or for anyone else that you love, meet, and touch.
Yeah. And just seeing that in so many children, like there's no guidance.
Yeah.
That's right. Giving more information or how they're learning.
No. Not yet. But here, because it's coming in you, so that will ripple. That's going to ripple out.
Yeah.
You did the work not just for you, for lots and lots and lots of people. So thank you for that. I honor you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me know if you need anything. Just DM me, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you, everyone.
So I'm so glad that this is what happened, because this is a perfect example of why this work is so needed right now. Like, this is so perfect. We don't understand our eroticism. It is, as a culture, it is life force energy. It is love. It is who you are. It's your pure, unadulterated existence. And so because we don't understand it, we're afraid of it. And so because we're afraid of it, we take it from other people, or we make people give it to us, or we comply and give it to someone else, instead of saying, this is mine. This is my power to have. This is my power to learn. This is my power to grow. And then when we grow it in our bodies, we get to start showing people how to be with it in a different way. How to tie their eroticism with their life, with their love, with their way the way they run business, with the way they run families, with the way they parent. Like, what if that tenderness, that deep self-respect, deep self-care was in everything everyone did? I think our world would be a different place. For real. Yeah, for real. So I'm excited because I actually, the more stories that like Dre was one example, but every day I get at least 30 to 40 stories of people telling me similar things, from clients, from groups I work with, from DMs and challenges and questions. And it doesn't actually make me feel sad, or I don't feel like run down or heavy hearing all these stories. To me, what I feel is connected. I feel connected. And because I feel connected, I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful that if all of us stay connected and we all start to regain our own sense of self-power by actually aligning our eroticism to who we are, no matter what our gender is, no matter what our age is, but we learn how to master our erotic energy, it'll shift the entire planet. And so I want to tell you about something. I want to tell you about something that I'm doing, as this community will be doing. We'll be doing this in this community in just a few weeks. And it's going to be an experience. Okay. It's going to be an experience that I'm really, really excited about, because it's going to be experiences just like what you saw with Dre. But it'll be group, and there'll be lots of people, and there's going to be just so much goodness. This event that is happening on October 21st to 23rd, in case your logical brain needs to know the dates. Okay, October 21st to 23rd. That means I can't change it. That's what it's happening. Okay, October 21st to 23rd is an event for those of you that are meant to lead. And what I mean by that is, like, you might know inside that your whole life has been led by people outside of you. And when I say that, if it lands for you, you know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, I am so much bigger than this. Why have I been putting all of my power outside? Oh, I'm actually a leader inside of my body. I just don't know how to step into that. I don't know how to create from that. I only know how to create from scarcity, or create something because someone tells me I have to, create my eroticism because someone says I have to, create wealth because then I'll be loved. But what we don't know yet as a society is how to actually, like, fill ourselves up with our own power and then create from there. What if every creation, every business, every coaching business, every mentorship business, every family, every relationship was created from fullness and love? Like, then what? We have a totally new paradigm. No one's taking anymore. Because remember, we're in that sexual maturity. No one's taking anymore. It's easeful. So this event is specifically for those of you that know you're meant to lead yourself and create from that space. So you might be a healer, you might be a sex coach, you might be a therapist, you might be a teacher, you might be a mentor or a guide or an aunt or an uncle, like you're leading someone, okay? But first you have to lead you and totally fulfill your erotic essence. And what you want to start to learn how to do is, how do I cultivate myself so deeply that I'm leading constantly from that place, so that everything that I create is magic. Like, literally everything that I create is magic, and I can trust that. Then I never have to doubt anything I create anymore. And so because of that, if what I want to create is wealth, wealth comes to me easily. Because of that, if what I want to create is love, love comes to me easily. It's from this deep inner moaning, this deep inner moan. I got the name for this event I was doing a session with a mentor of mine. And I always love to mention my mentors in my sessions with them, because I don't want you to think that, like, I don't get feedback from mentors. I live in that space, because sometimes we lose ourselves and mentors bring us back. Good ones bring us back to ourselves. So I was in this session and I felt in me this scream. So the first thing that happened was I got this vision. I got this vision of how frequently we are objectified in our sexuality. And I saw all these women and I saw all these men, and they were dancing and they were naked, and all these, like, all genders, right? And they were dancing and they were naked. And I saw how people just were grabbing from them. It was like grabbing energy, grab, 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 grab. And I let out this scream thank God we weren't in New York. It was so loud. my eyes were closed. I had a blindfold on. I just started screaming, and it felt like this scream lasted for like 7 minutes. And then the scream turned into a moan. And I started feeling authentic arousal in the moan. And I believe that if we can access that place where the scream becomes a moan, where the sadness becomes a pleasurable power, that's how we manifest our reality, from that place. So that's why I've called this weekend, October 21st to 23rd, Manifestation, because we will be moaning as we manifest our reality. And it's not just hippy dippy woo woo. You will actually see things land in your life. The reason that a lot of the teachings on manifestation aren't working for you is because you're not actually embodied in them. When you're in your body and you're manifesting, it always works. There's no, like, you just have, like, it just works. But if you're thinking about, like, if you're doing sex magic and you're not in your body, it doesn't work. If you haven't moved through the orgasmic arc, or you're not in a fully embodied experience, nothing will land. So it's October 21st to 23rd. It is a weekend online. We're going to have special guests. And what I'm going to do leading up to it, this is really fun. I've never done this before. Every day, I'm going to give you another detail of what's happening. So I'm starting that tomorrow. Well, today is the detail. Okay. But every day I'm going to give you another detail just to keep us all on our toes. And also because I create shit as I get closer to it based on my authentic desire. Okay. So I'll be creating more as we go. Don't worry. I don't believe in burnout. I don't believe that you have to learn in order to create a new reality. I actually think you just need experiences of yourself over and over again. And then you'll realize how incredible you are. And then you'll create a phenomenal experience in your life. So manifestation is not going to be like all day long till you frazzle yourself out. It's going to be with the nervous system in mind. So we're going to be making sure that we're not on the internet all day long, that there's, like, I'm really going to be thinking about what nervous systems need, knowing everyone's different, but you know, the ratio to movement and talk and community and isolation, like, I'm going to play with all of that as we develop it. Okay. And so 3 days, October 21st to 23rd, the price of it for everyone else but you're going to get an event price. The price of it is $169 for the weekend. For those of you that are here, or if you watch the replay, you have until next week to get a ticket at only $44. If you're one of the Orgasmic Arc coaches, you get to come for free. Or if you're currently in my Unbroken course, you get to come for free. So just reach out to team and they will tell you how to get in there. Okay. I think those are all the details that you need to know. You have a week to get a ticket and more details will be dropped. After the week, the price is going to go up. So you'll get more details the closer to the date, but you'll just have to kind of trust that guidance if you feel like it's a good time to do it. Okay. You had me at Manifestation. Isn't it a great name? So much. It's the new way of creating. I mean, I don't understand creating. How most things are created does not make sense to me. You create from you emerge, and then creation happens. That's truth. So we're going to create like that. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm so excited. This name makes me smile. Yes, I'm in. Thank you for the week. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm nervous. Can I tell you, I'm kind of nervous about this event because I think it's going to bring me to another level of myself. Feel me getting nervous? I'm nervous. And whenever that happens, I'm like, ah! Maybe we'll know what comes after sexual maturity at that. I don't know. Not sure. Maybe nothing comes. But I can feel it'll bring me to another layer of me too. And that's always really exciting. We're going on the ride together. I'm really excited for you all to be there. You'll get information every day dropping about it. So you'll learn more as we get closer, but thank you for jumping in. And it feels great when I see your names pop up, like little page comes up and I see everyone's name. So thank you for doing that. It's really fun. I get really excited. Okay. So today was a masterclass. Again, I told you, this is like a masterclass that we're going to have to write a book about, I think. I'm working on the third book. It's going to happen soon. Should I tell you the name? Do you want to know the name of the third book? Do you want Monica Jane's face? Maybe it's just because of your face. Okay. The name of it, I got it when I was self-pleasuring. It's called Satiation. That's the name of the book. And it's going to be all about how to live your life from satisfaction instead of seeking. So how to have sex, how to create wealth, how to create community, how to create relationship from fulfillment. I'm really excited. And I think everything that was in this masterclass today is going to have to go in there. So this might be a whole chunk of it. I'll just like, go watch the masterclass. But I'm really excited for that too. All right. If you watch this today, know that if you were here today, know that what you needed to hear, you heard. What you didn't need to hear, you didn't hear. So you don't need to freak out if there are pieces of it that didn't land for you, or you were dissociating at certain parts, or you just didn't get it. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay. You heard what you need to hear. You saw what you needed to see for your growth. I really have chills. There's tingles. I really trust that. I really trust that bodies innately know how to access their power. And the more you get out of your own way and let yourself just show up to things and then receive, that's how your power comes through. And so you did that today. You received it. You let it come in, and that's perfect. There's nothing more you need to do. There is a Q&A tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. That's every Thursday at 10:30, but this one, I'm sure all of you will be in there. So you can post your questions at the top of the Facebook group. I might have Ari bump it for you so you can see it again. And Ari, can you post the link for, I didn't see the link come up for manifestation. Oh, it's there. Can you post it again just so we have it? Post that again. And yes, you can talk to Ari or email our team email that Ari will post in there. Bye, Monica Jane. Thanks for being here. So Q&As tomorrow. This is a community that will continue to grow and shift. This is not goodbye forever. This is just goodbye for now. You have everything that you already need. And I love you. You're perfect. Thank you for being on this journey with me and having these deep conversations, moving through these experiences. It is so cool that we get to do this in this lifetime. I am so thrilled that I was born at the same time that you were born, and you were born, and you were born. How lucky we are. Like, it's so cool. What a great life. I love you so deeply, and I will see you tomorrow. You're amazing. Big love. Bye, everyone. Thank you.